Hey, Trailside Church, Pastor Sean here. Thanks for joining us. We had a little bit of a sound issue on Sunday, so we lost our footage. So what we wanted to do is re-record it and give you an opportunity to see what the vision for our church over the next year, 2 years, and even 5 years is. And so over the course of this video, you're going to see interviews with different people on staff who are in charge of ministries, whether that's Pastor Tyler in our college and career ministry, Hannah Arata with our community engagement, Mikey Smith with our student ministry, and Josh and Ray Bradford with our Trail Kids ministry. You're going to hear more about what it is they do, what they're hoping to do in the future, and how you can come be a part of those things. At the end of the video, I'll be sharing a little bit about the vision of our church, where we feel God is taking us as a whole, and how you can be a part of that. We're excited for what God's called us to. We're excited that we get to love Jesus, that we get to serve others, and that we get to live unified in community together. And we hope that you will consider being a part of that. Together, we can do so much. Thanks for being here, and enjoy the video.
Hey guys, my name's Hannah, and I am the Community Engagement Director here at Trailside Church. And I wanted to tell you about what I do. So, as the Community Engagement Director, I basically am in charge of all of the outreach for our church. So whenever we want to engage our congregation with the outer Travelers Rest community, that is my job. And so basically what that looks like is I organize events for our church to take part in, both in our church and in the community. So one of the ways we are in the community is with our Third Saturday event. So our Third Saturday event is when we go out into the community and just love on people. And so what that's looked like this summer is we've gone over to Gateway Park right down the road to paint fences, refurbish benches, things like that. And it's been such a great opportunity for our church to get involved. We also have Parents Night Out, which is an event that we bring into the church. And so we have volunteers and we have a medic on site. And basically we just give parents a night off. And so we give them a devotional and fun things to do in the city so they can not only have a night off to themselves, but also be able to engage with our awesome city. So those are two examples of the things that we do, and we have so many awesome plans and goals for the next couple of years. One of those things is that we want to broaden our Third Saturday programming. We want to not only be at one place, but we want to cater to as many different parts of the community as we can as possible. So what that looks like is we're actually in the process of starting a job training workshop for people in the community who are either unemployed, looking for jobs for the first time, like our college and career students, and for just the greater community. And we're also wanting to do a car repair ministry through our church in the back. And so those are just a couple of examples of the way that we are trying to broaden that Third Saturday program so that we can not only serve our city best, but that we can engage our congregation the best to serve our city in the ways that, they're passionate about. And so we are just so excited about everything that is happening through community engagement, and we would love for you to be a part of it. Some of our needs are that we really need volunteers. If you love painting, or if you love just hanging out with people, or if you are really skilled in, mock interviewing, or kind of anything that you're passionate about, we would love to use you in whatever way that we can. So we would always need volunteers, but we also need ideas. And so if there's something that you're passionate about, that you just really want to bring into our church, that we can start our own programming here, we would love to talk to you. And you can email me at hannah@trailside.church. And I would love to meet with you and talk about how we can engage your passions for what your purpose is and what Trailside's passion is, and put them together. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Mikey Smith. I'm the student minister here at Trailside Church. We launched our student ministry Resolve a few months ago in June. And all the summer long, all we've been doing is just hanging out with students, having fun every Wednesday night, playing games, and just connecting and building relationships. And the main idea behind that has been I just want to form trust, and I want to form that relationship between myself and our leaders and the students, because in September we're going to make a shift and we're going to launch our services, and once a month we're going to have a worship service where we hear a message, and the following Wednesdays after that we're going to devote small group time to diving into passages that relate directly back to the sermon. And the reason why we're doing that is because our vision here at Trailside, our vision here at Resolve, all under the same umbrella, is just love Jesus, serve others, and live unified. And small groups embody all three of those. And so I'm just super excited for that shift, for that launch to happen here in a month or so. A couple goals that we have for Resolve coming up. We would love to have a free tutoring program that we're going to offer our students every single Wednesday once the school year starts from 4 to 6. And essentially we have teachers in the church, we have college students in our college ministry who major in various subjects who are willing to come and devote their time to help our students. So free tutoring is a big goal of ours. Another big goal of ours is to, by next summer, before next school year, I'd love to be able to buy all of our students school supplies for them. That would just be a huge thing for us to be able to look at a parent and say, hey, don't worry about going to drop $200 on your student for school. Like, we've got you covered. That would just be a really big weight off of their shoulders, and we would just love to be able to offer that to them. So if you're interested if you're interested in student ministry, if you have a heart for students and you want to get involved, you can just email me at mikey@trailside.church. Or you can find me in the foyer at church on Sunday mornings. I'll be there every single Sunday. Guys, I just can't wait for the student ministry to pick up and for the launch of these services to happen and to watch all this unfold. And I'm just so incredibly honored to be able to lead these students.
Hey guys, Josh Bradford here. I'm one of the elders at Trailside Church. I wanted to take a minute just to talk with you guys about Trail Kids, which is our children's ministry that we have here at the church. Every Sunday morning when you guys drop your kids off at the big doors over there to the right of the sanctuary, we take them back and we teach them a lesson that mirrors what Pastor Sean Gaida is teaching here in Big Church, so that you guys can have dialogue and continue the growth there. And we are really just focused on pouring the gospel and the love of Jesus Christ into your kids. And we meet them on their level, so the lesson is brought down to where they can understand it. We teach them fun games and creative craft that helps them retain the lesson. And then we also post questions for you guys to talk about with your kids after church, like we said, so that you can continue the dialogue, because it's really important to us that kids understand Jesus extends beyond the church building. One really cool thing that we do back there that not a lot of other churches do is we have a thing called a ranger, which is basically an elder or the pastor or the children's minister, or sometimes even just dads, will go from classroom to classroom to teach the lesson, so that not only are the kids getting familiar with the authority of the church and other dads and other adult volunteers, but they're all getting the same lesson, which is really important to us. We have a couple goals coming up over the next year. We would really love for the kids to learn about ministry and partnering with other local organizations in the greater Greenville area. One idea that we have is partnering with an exotic animal rescue, so that the kids can give back supplies and meet some of the animals, and so they get to see ministry on a tangible level for them and what it looks like to serve their community. Our biggest needs right now are adult volunteers. We have college kids and we have high schoolers and all that, and we love those guys and we love their heart, but it's really important to us to maintain a secure environment for your kids, and sometimes that just looks like having an adult in the room. So if you feel like you can give your time, even if it's just one Sunday a month, to come sit with these kids, like I said, we have a ranger that teaches the lessons, so you don't have to do anything but watch them and make sure that they're safe and secure and that they just feel loved. If you feel like you can do that, reach out to us, trailkids@trailside.church, or you can find me or my wife, Ray, who is the children's minister at Growth Track, or just anytime you see me out around the church, you can ask me about it. I love to talk about it. So we love you guys. We're so thankful for you, and God bless.
Good morning, church. I cannot believe the summer is coming to a close and school is starting back so soon. If you do not know me, my name's Tyler Skipper, and I'm the college and career pastor here at Trailside. My wife and I, and our dog Piper, we moved up here at the end of last semester to work with college students, and we're so excited to be able to invite college students into our home and love them well. We actually met at North Greenville, right up the road from here. Those 4 years was such an incredible time of growth for the both of us. And we know that 4 years of college can be some of the most formative and wonderful years, but there's a reality that it also can be really lonely and hard. In keeping with Trailside's vision, we want to invite students into a space where they can learn how to love Jesus, serve others, and live unified. Our hope is to see a group of college students who live in community and live out this idea of loving God with all of their heart, mind, soul, and strength. And secondly, to love their fellow student, roommate, and professor as themselves. This idea comes out of Deuteronomy 4:6. It's called the Shema. In short, love God, love neighbor. Jesus says there's no greater commandment than this. So what does that look like for us this year? First, love Jesus. We're going to meet weekly on Thursday nights. This is going to be a time for college students to come together in our home, dive into scripture, break bread together, challenge and pray for each other. This year we're going to be going through the book of John. Also, on the first Friday of every month, we're going to host a night of worship and teaching. It's going to be called The Gathering. Our desire is that this is a place where students can come worship together and be challenged and loved. We also are going to be a group that learns how to love and serve each other and also our community. We want to join in on third Saturday to love TR well. And our hope is to find new ways to love our campus as well. Lastly, we want to be a group that lives unified. We want to know how to celebrate one another well and have fun together. This is going to happen through hikes, retreats, lake days, and so much more. If you have a heart for college students, we would love your help. We're looking for leaders to help with our Thursday night large group, for volunteers for our Friday night gathering. And we need people who are able to offer up their homes, provide meals and snacks for events. We are so excited and expectant for what the Lord is going to do through Trailside College this year. I'm so grateful to be a part of a church that believes in the next generation.
Hey, I hope you've enjoyed hearing from our staff and hearing the vision for the different departments within our church. What I want to do now is I want to give you a few elements of what it is we hope to accomplish over the next year and 2 years and 5 years so that you can understand what it is we feel called to and that you can grab onto this vision that we have and walk it with us because we are pumped about what Jesus is doing in this city. As you heard from Hannah, we have already had some incredible opportunity to serve families in this city. Through Parents Night Out, through Third Saturday. We have a great relationship with our city government, and we have this incredible opportunity to actually meet physical needs of people and meet them where they are so that they might hear the gospel and have their eternities changed. It's the heart of your pastor, it's the heart of your team and your staff here that we want to make Jesus famous. We're not here to build Trailside's kingdom, we're here to build Jesus's kingdom. And some of that we're going to accomplish is through our Sunday gatherings. Sunday morning, you can come to any of our services and you're going to hear messages that are relevant to who we are right now, but also some of the challenges that you might have. Our goal is that if people come to our church and it's their last opportunity they're giving God, that they'll feel loved and cared for, important, and they'll hear something that can maybe change their life. And so the next few series over the next year we're going to do, we've got some highlights for you, like this upcoming series called Doubt Your Doubt. We're going to talk about things like science and God and how that matters, why that matters. As a believer, we're not scared of science. God created it. And something that I like to say often is that the Lion of Judah doesn't need us to cage him or defend him. He can defend himself. And so we're going to hit some of that stuff head on. You're going to have opportunities in this series to hear about why we believe the Bible is the Bible and why you can trust it, why it's worthy of your dedication and your time and memorization and hope. Why you're going to hear about what we do as a church and why that matters, or how, like I said, science works with Christianity, or can there be just one true religion even? We're going to talk about that, and then as we're going to move forward into the year, we're going to go in to have our very first Christmas at Trailside in this building, and I'm so excited about that. The precursor to that is a series called BC to AD, and we're going to talk about the oncoming Messiah and what that looks like and why that matters. And then on Christmas Eve, we're going to have our Christmas Eve service in our building. We're going to celebrate, have an awesome time, and I'm so excited for you to be a part of that. After that, into the spring, we're actually going to cover a really incredible series called Alone. We're going to talk about things like the 5 solas, like scripture only, faith only, Jesus only, why that matters and what that means for us. We're going to talk about how, as a church, if we get those things right, we can provide a foundation for truth and for hope, where we can see legacies redefined, where eternities will be changed, and where the legacy we leave behind as we leave this earth is one of hope and security and eternity and grace and peace for our children and our children's children. Later after that, moving into the summer, we're going to finish our John series, but also we're going to have some time in Psalm 23, which is one of my most favorite Psalms. It's very popular, popularized through culture and through movies, but it starts with, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you are with me. And so that probably is familiar with you. And I'm excited to walk through that next summer as we talk about what it means to be a shepherd, what it means to follow the shepherd, what it means to be cared for and disciplined. And when Jesus walks with us and it doesn't feel good, how do we handle that? And so we're going to talk about some of those issues as well. But the lifeblood of our church is our living unified. We believe that you have to be in community. You weren't made to do life alone. So we want to make sure we get everybody in our church to be a part of a community group. We've got everything from open groups that meet in people's homes to hobby groups with running. There's a group for running. There's a group for if you want to get into coding, if you want to go play golf, if you want to play softball. We have all these hobby groups that are really fun. We've got women's groups where women who love Jesus can get together and learn more about what it means to be found found their identity in Jesus and who he says they are. We're going to have men's groups like our Leaf and Lager group that we're going to meet at 13 Stripes the first Monday of every month. And we're going to enjoy time as brothers together and talk about doctrine and how to be better men and how to be better fathers. Then we have our covenant groups where after a season in an open group, you can find your tribe within this church and do life with them and live vulnerably. And we believe that when we see that happen and when we have our culture defined by a group of people who are all in, we can see Jesus do incredible things through the life of our church. You've heard me say, if you've been here multiple times, that if we closed our doors, if our church shut down today and the city didn't feel our effect, they didn't miss us, then we probably just need to shut it down now. But we believe that if we consider what it would mean to actually bring life into this city, that for us to shut down would be a horrible event that would actually leave this city reeling a little bit. And that gives us purpose. And that gives us call, because when we move all those things into purpose and gospel, we're going to see lives changed. So far, in the last year from our church, we've baptized 18 people. We've brought a new pastor on staff. We've brought, I think, 8 new staff members and started 9 more community groups. The church is growing and it's insane and it's wonderful, but now's the time for us to grab on and to move past being a plant into growth. And as we do that, we've got to be unified. So we're going to do that through our mission statement. By loving Jesus well, we're going to make sure Sundays are an opportunity for people to come and give God one last chance. Excellence is everything. And so when you come here, we hope that you're challenged and encouraged, that you can bring people into this place who maybe are burned out on church or church life or politics, and that they might actually have an opportunity to experience who the God of the Bible really is. When creation is met with creator, something incredible happens, and we can merge those two things together. We can tear down defensive walls, and the gospel will change people's lives forever. And we're excited about that. When we talk about serving others, you heard Hannah talk about what it means to have parents' night out and to just go and meet families and give husbands and wives and single parents an opportunity to breathe a little bit. See, we want to be about what we say we're about. Every church and every nonprofit will say that they're for families being stronger and husbands and wives being closer. And we are about that too, but we want to make sure that we are about what we say we're about by action as well. And so with our Parents' Night Out, we can give parents an opportunity to drop their kids off here, be worry-free, let their kids have an awesome time, and then allow them to have a moment where they can just be them, where they can rekindle love and they can grow deeper, and they don't have to worry about children and things happening. They can literally just come and enjoy time together. And that's how we strengthen families. With our third Saturday and doing things like working in Gateway Park, we're building and helping reconstruct and clean up a place where fathers can bring their daughters and catch their sons on the bottoms of slides and push their daughters on swings. And moms and dads can walk around with their family and go on the BMX track and do these things that will bring families closer together, because when we change that, we change legacies. Well, the gospel does anyways. And so we believe that if we can pour time and effort and ministry into things like that, this city will change. We believe that we can have an effect on what's happening here. When we first moved here, when my wife and I felt called to move to Travelers Rest before Trailside was ever an opportunity or an option or anything for us, one of the most common things we heard was, well, the schools aren't good. The crime rate's high. There's a lot of segregation of people and attitudes. Why would you want to move there? And my response was always first to be kind of thrown off by that and kind of pushed away. But my response to that was, well, then why don't we go change that? Why don't we go and help reestablish families? Why don't we take fathers and mothers who are struggling because no one's ever walked with them and shown them how to write a resume or how to have a job interview and walk with them and train them? Why wouldn't we do that if we want to be like Jesus? And if we can then move them into relationship with businesses who say, hey, I'll take a chance on someone who's gone through your training program. If we do that, we can change a legacy of families. We want to go adopt some of the neighborhoods and not just do social justice tourism back and forth, but move into a neighborhood and do health screenings. We want to give life to children who just want a safe place to play by having cookouts and activities. We want to go in and actually make a change, because when we help people physically, then they'll be open spiritually. And when that happens, we can see the gospel change. And so things like the school system being a little rough out here, well, if we go in and change the legacy of families who are in this city, and more people love Jesus, and more children are being discipled by their parents and loved in our Trail Kids ministry, and learning more about who Jesus is and who he says they are, and they carry that into schools, then some of those things will change, and we'll see Jesus be the reason that TR becomes a greater city. And so that's our hope, that's our vision, that's our goal. That's what we want to do by loving Jesus. It doesn't just happen on Sunday mornings through beautiful songs or messages and sermons. It happens by what we do with those moments. And I talked about our serve others and how we want to accomplish that goal. So even living unified, coming together and being a part of what this church is about means more than just being in community. You see, to make this happen, we have to be a team. We have to be aligned in vision, and that means that we need people to serve. We need people who are willing to come and have their cheeks hurt just as much as their arms, who are opening doors and greeting people. We need folks who love the idea of taking care of people by making sure coffee is taken care of, or that guests feel welcome at their first time, or that our parking lot is clean, or if you sing or lead worship or have musical ability, or you want to be in production, whatever you have the opportunity to do, we want you to have an opportunity to do that and to feel fulfilled by your purpose that God has given you, placed in you, and that we can see the gospel come through you and change people's lives. Lastly, is financials. We have a dream of having our full staff paid and in full-time ministry so that they can have incredible effect on this city. But we can't do it alone. And I know what you're saying. Yes, I know we're a young church and churches always talk about money, but let me be clear. When we ask you to give and partner with us, it's not so we can put money in my pocket, or that I can put money in other people's pockets, or that we can have the neatest, coolest stuff and lights that move. No, what it is that it's the one thing that God says to test him. And he says, test me in this and see that I will not throw open the windows and bless you. And that gets thrown around a lot. Let's just be serious about that. There's a lot of people who say that, and they say, if you just give a little bit, then God will triple what you've given. And that's not how it works. See, God does not promise more money. What he promises is fulfillment and purpose, and that he will take care of you, that he will give provision in ways that you need it. So we're not asking you to give so that God will give you more. What we're doing is asking you to partner with us, because when we are all united in what we give to and what we call home and what we want to accomplish, then our vision becomes your vision. And when your vision comes, it infiltrates our city, then we see lives change. We see things like our tutoring program come into effect. We see things like our ability to love teachers and to pay off school lunches for families who can't afford it. And things like we want to throw a brand new playground in the middle of Gateway Park. And I would love for our church to be able to come together and write a check or buy new equipment and say, here you go, and put it in the middle of the city so that we can actually see families have a place in the city to come to that is a joyful, joyful opportunity for parents, for dads to be with their sons. That's what we want to be about. That's what we want to do so that we can have an effect on this city, not so Trailside can build its kingdom, but so that we have the awesome opportunity to be used as God builds his. And so that's what we ask. So if you're ready, if you're in, if you say, man, I want to do this, I'm all in on this vision, we have a couple of opportunities for you to come be a part of that. At the end of this month, there's a growth track coming up, which is just a kind of a weird, fancy way for saying a membership class. We start at 4 o'clock on Sunday and we end by 7. We have dinner together. You'll hear the vision of our church. You'll hear how we started, what we believe, but more importantly than that, you'll understand how God created you, how he gifted you, the things he put in you so that you could be used to serve his kingdom in a natural way. If you hate being outdoors, we don't want to put you in the parking lot because, like me, you'll be miserable. But if you can love people well, if you have a beautiful smile and you just love holding doors open, we have a place for you. Or if your gift is teaching and you love deep scripture, we can walk with you and train you to become a community group leader and bring you in and give you opportunity. And so you'll learn that at Growth Track. You'll see how to communicate better. You'll hear from our staff. You'll meet our staff and have an opportunity to talk with them about what it is they're doing. And you'll hear kind of how we've laid everything out in the way that God's called us to. At the end of that, you'll have an opportunity to sign a membership covenant, which we also have available right now at our church sanctuary if you have already been through Growth Track. But it's just a simple way of saying, this is what I believe. Like I follow Jesus. I'm willing. I'm all about serving. I want to give my time. I want to give financially. I want to serve in the building, and I want to promote what it is God's doing here at Trailside. And so we just want to know who is at that point so that we can make sure that we're not asking more of you or less of you than God needs. We want to make sure that you have purpose, that you're finding freedom, that this is a building of hope, and that the gospel of Jesus is something that you can take into your life and see it change all the people around you. So Trailside is a joy, it is an honor to be your pastor. I love you guys. Every time that I have an opportunity to get up on Sunday and see all of you or meet with you throughout the week, it is a joy and it is an honor, and genuinely it humbles me. So thank you. Thank you for being willing to take time with being a part of this, for serving, for giving, for loving our college students, for loving our high school students, for being willing to take time and serve. From coffee to parking lots to children's ministry. It means everything to us because what you're able to do is change the world for the gospel. And so for that, I'm so thankful. Trailside, let me pray for you real quick. We can't wait to see you on Sunday. Our college students are about to be back, so it's going to be a crazy room, and we're so pumped about it. But let me pray for you and for us that God would enlighten our hearts and that the gospel would change this city. So pray with me. Father, thank you so much. Thank you for your goodness and your grace. Thank you that you've called this church to be a place of hope. Thank you that through your calling, through your gifting, through your love for us, we have an opportunity to play a part in your story. Lord, I ask that you would help us to live unselfishly. Help us to live trusting you and knowing of your goodness. And help us to be a people that desires to see this city change. God, break our hearts for Greenville County. Break our hearts for Travelers Rest and Taylors and Berea and Greer and Marietta and Slater. God, break our hearts for these places people call home. Let our church be a place of hope for brokenness, of restoration for broken relationships, of relief from addiction, and of hope for depression and sadness. And instead, let us find joy in what it is you've called us to do and who you've called us to be. We love you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Help us to never forget this is about you. And help us to give everything we have to you because you are so, so worthy. Thank you for Trailside. Thank you for our serve teams. Thank you for our people who work so hard and give so much of themselves as a sacrifice so that other people might be able to come and hear your gospel. Thank you for our production and our worship and our children's team, our hospitality team, our media team. Thank you for all those folks that you've brought here. And thank you for the vision you've put in them. Help us to love you well. Help us to celebrate you well. Help us to never forget the joy that you have set in our hearts, that when this home is gone, when this life is no more, that we will be with you in eternity forever. What a joyful moment that is. We love you, Jesus, and it's in your name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Trailside. Have an awesome week.